You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
Here we go.
I want no friggin' part of it. New York, New York. These Hugo Boss shoes are longing to stray and take an Uber to LaGuardia. Ta-ta, New York.
Well, it's all
I want to wake up in a city that's safe and free.
Not now.
Not anymore.
Slick jive-ass mayor, Comrade Mom Denise.
Mom Denise.
It's clear that Gen Z
Yeah. Oh, with Gen Z.
knows no history.
No, it's crazy what you're getting out of that. By the way, this is a late submission to the show by ST in the chat room. ST,
Good.
thank you for sending it.
Nice.
It's a nice little opening there.
I feel like I was on the last time when Mayor Adams was elected. You remember? And we had that whole week of a plant-based centered life. You remember that thing?
Yeah.
God, it just never gets any better around here.
It wasn't even that, but you remember he was also telling people, he was giving people tutorials on how to drink the tap water.
Oh, that too. I definitely remember that.
Wonderful water. Wonderful water.
The water's great.
The water's great. You drink the water. Drink the water.
And then there was the whole controversy about him not really being a vegan. It's like, you remember the press was asking him, don't you eat fish sometimes? Like, look, I'm not going to talk about this right now.
You know, what I do in my personal time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help New Yorkers live a better plant-based centered life.
I know, just nuts. Crazy ass. Oh, man. But that's just, well, you know, New York is getting a little bit more halal now.
It sure is.
Not so Mediterranean. But I don't know. Jay Gulinello's here on a Wednesday night.
Wednesday, yeah.
And we've got 90 minutes to just chill because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And then around 8:30 or so is when our buddy Justin from Yes Cacao is coming on, and we're going to end the show with him with a tour of his chocolate factory.
I mean, that is like one of the cool. It's going to make me want to book a flight and get out there and actually see it in person.
Yeah,
because
he's
really a magician.
And then the after hours, and then I already know that what we're going to be bringing into the flip side tonight after the end credits is going to be just fire breathing. There's just so much happening, and
are you ready?
I guess. I mean,
is the audience? I was talking to the audience. Are you guys ready?
I think they are.
Okay.
I'm always ready.
I mean, this is, this could give us give the show, I should say, because I won't be here the rest of the week, but it'll give the show a nice trajectory into the end of the week, right? Hump day. So now we're going to really start that acceleration downhill. There's going to be a lot of momentum tonight.
A lot of momentum. And let me just say, because I forgot to do it in the beginning of the show last night, and I don't want to forget tonight because I have an ounce of silver to give away.
Wow.
An ounce of silver again from Tony Arterburn at quitefrankly.gold. Just want to let you know that all the super chats tonight on YouTube, quite frankly, superchat.com directly, which goes directly to the show, 100% of it. Just letting you know, quite frankly, superchat.com, YouTube, the Rumble Rants, and the Gold Pills. I got an ounce of silver for you. And for those of you who don't win the ounce, but you're looking to buy a little bit of precious metals, especially if it's for the holidays or something like that, quitefrankly.gold, any purchase of precious metals, gold backs, Bitcoin, whatever the hell your persuasion is that Tony provides over there, just use promo code Frankly and you're going to be getting free junk silver with whatever your order is. Doesn't matter how small or large it is. You're going to get like maybe some Mercury Head dimes or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And that's all going to be until December 18th. That's when
I think I'm going to do it this year. I've been saying it for a while, but I'm mad because I was thinking about doing it when silver was about 32 an ounce. And now it's like, last I checked, it was like 50, or a couple of weeks ago it was 50.
I got to be honest with you. I give it, for the last 7 years or so, I have given, inner circle people, nephews, nieces, buddies, whatever. I've given them ounces of silver, an ounce of silver each. This year they might get a quarter. I'm telling you,
I know.
I might get a little extra junk silver and just toss people Mercury Head dimes. Listen, at least it's something.
I think it's cool.
Everybody's belt's tightening up a little bit, but this is not frivolous spending, if you ask me.
Nope.
So yeah, just remember putting it out there. QuiteFrankly.gold. Use promo code Frankly, and we're giving away some silver tonight. So just send a super chat. All right. First one, I watched this a little bit last night. I said, let me just wet my beak. I'm gonna wet my beak a little bit. I've got a beak on me. I got a Southern Italian beak.
Okay,
But I said I have to save this for Jay Gulinello. And that, of course, was the last minute kind of like, if you want to call it a mea culpa from Cuomo, former Governor Cuomo, about the deaths.
I know where this is going.
The deaths in New York in 2020 and 2021.
Here we go.
Here you go. Jay Gulinello, this is your life.
I wish it wasn't.
Nobody knew what we were dealing with. I had the best health experts from around the globe giving us advice. We followed the best advice. We followed the federal guidance. And people died in a horrific way. There were no visitors allowed into nursing homes. And I apologize for any family that lost a loved one during that time. It was on my watch. And I understand how terrible it was.
Do you?
Yeah, we really were first and worst. I remember calling my family down in South Carolina saying, Mom and Dad, do not go to that party. You don't understand what's happening here. Y'all need to stay away from your friends right now and stay at home. People are losing their loved ones. My doorman,
They didn't have the best, by the way.
So he said we were getting we followed the federal advice and we were getting the best advice. Which is it? Which is it?
Yeah.
Oh God, this is unbelievable. So you don't think, how dumb does he think people are? Well, obviously people didn't buy it, but do you choose the night before? This was the night before the election, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. You don't do it. It's been years, Cuomo. It's been years. Oh, all of a sudden you just saw the light? Is that, wow. You're not even a good you're not good at anything, but you're not even a good politician. You're terrible. This guy, I hope that he is relegated to the dustbin of history. And I hope he realizes how unwanted he is in New York. I'm sorry that it ended up being a Mamdani that had to do it. I really am. But Cuomo, really? This is... I don't even know where to go from here. I just can't stand the guy.
I know.
It's unbelievable, Frank.
That's why and I had a couple of people get in touch with me and say, "Well, did you see that Trump endorsed Cuomo?" And I said,
I wasn't.
I said, "Well, let me go see this." And I said, what could it possibly be? And I read it. I was like, "This is."
It's the most backhanded compliment I've ever seen.
God, it's not.
He's capable. Oh yeah, that's an endorsement.
Yeah,
come on.
Anybody's capable.
Yeah,
anybody's capable of doing something, perhaps. But it's one of those things where it's just like, again, New York had the choice. You can say, well, yeah, no, they could have chosen Sliwa. Yes, they could have. And if I had a vote, I would have voted for Curtis Sliwa as well. He's the only person that actually represents and reminds me of what a New Yorker looked like.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that we were learning about this whole, one of the biggest things that we've learned about this whole process, at least I know there's other races, but this was just, it's like our premier city in the U.S., the financial center, and it's about to elect somebody who at least is trying to win support from constituents on pure Soviet Union talking points.
Yeah.
Cuba, it's just one. So whether or not he's going to deliver or not, that is what his campaign was about. And that is why we're going to watch some of the stuff from the streets.
Okay.
That's what people believe that they were getting. And enthusiastically so, they were voting.
Oh, incredibly enthusiastic. And but back to Cuomo just for one moment. I mean, I heard him complain about So he's finally saying, right, the truth that we all understand, that, and he seems very surprised by the fact that the Democrat Party seems to have been infected by some extreme, left wing of the party. No. Hold on. Let me just say this in really simple terms so even you can understand, Cuomo. The party was going this way when you were the governor, but you didn't have the balls to stand up to it. This was happening during COVID. This has been happening for a long time, but you were in power, so you were fine with it. Now, all of a sudden, your party is so broken, and it's been so broken, that you had to run as an independent because that insane wing you're talking about found the guy they actually wanted, and you still, just now this is occurring to you. No, that's bullshit. It was always that way. You're just pretending to have courage now because you didn't have courage before. But the truth is you have no courage, period. You are a bad politician. You're probably not a very good guy in general. Go to hell. Drop dead. No thanks, Andrew Cuomo. And again, I hope he gets the message. Like, nobody wants you, dude. Go retire, go play golf, do whatever a Cuomo does in his spare time. But public office, it's not your thing.
No, it's not.
Unbelievable.
No, it's not. I mean, there's other things that people forget after a while. I mean, you remember that Red Cross ship Mercy?
Oh yes,
that giant Mercy ship that sat completely unused,
empty. Yep,
completely empty in New York Harbor while they were forcing elderly patients and other sick people into nursing homes
just to stick it to Trump
to kill elderly people.
I mean, this guy.
I mean, you say, well, it wasn't their intent. Well, I mean, so you're telling me they're that stupid? That doesn't make it any better.
Right. It's either incompetence or, yeah, it's wild. And I mean, most people believe that was intentional in order to jack up the numbers so that you could continue to instill a state of fear in people. And then you can write a book called Mission Accomplished.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the book was called Mission Accomplished. I just keep seeing the George W. Bush banner, but it was something like courage under fire, or some kind like leadership or something like that. It's like, wow.
A pat in the back.
This guy does not get it.
Yeah. and you can say, well, we apologize for doing the best that we could with the information that was available and people got killed. Well, you also let teachers and police officers and firefighters and so many others lose their job when they refuse to take one thing or another. You
silenced the voices that were providing opposite points of view. I mean, that's
especially trained medical professionals.
Absolutely.
There are plenty of doctors that said, no, we shouldn't do this. We should try this. They were silenced.
Yep.
Alternative therapies were banned in places like they banned.
Oh yeah.
Hydroxychloroquine in New York, no?
Oh, absolutely. And so for him to pretend that he's apologizing, that he did the best he could, I mean, it's just again, you got to be a moron to believe what he just said. That was clearly a political move at the last minute.
Well, here, because Jay, again, the thing about that, like especially the banning of pharmaceuticals in several states, what a governor and some, to whatever degree a legislative body needs to be involved for something like that to take foot on a policy level in a state, what they're saying is, here is a pharmaceutical drug, and we are going to disallow trained doctors from prescribing this for off-label or on-label uses because what? Because it's threatening people's lives or a narrative.
Exactly.
That's
why in no universe is that a legitimate apology or a mea culpa.
No, you don't stand in the way of doctors and their patients because for any other reason than narrative control.
Yeah.
Because if those doctors have any luck doing something without the prescribed medications or the prescribed protocols from the state or whoever else, then you have a problem there. Other than that, they're totally licensed to do what they want. So this whole thing for those 2.5 years, especially, that was the heat of it.
Yeah.
Getting in between doctors and patients, like, who the fuck are you?
Not only did you not do the best you could, you actively obstructed public health. You actively obstructed public health and probably led to the deaths of an untold amount of people. So sorry, no, we do not accept your apology. And in some ways, again, he got what he deserved. But I remember I was working in a hospital during all this. I was in grad school and working at a hospital in New York during all this. And I still knew enough, even at that time when my training hadn't been complete and I hadn't, developed the understanding even back then that I have now of biochemistry and anatomy and physiology. I knew enough even then to be able to look through the literature and go, there's something just not right about this. Because, and again, the beauty of Instagram, you can go on my Instagram feed, you could scroll back if you got the time to 2019, 2020, and read what I was writing. Like innocently saying, this is strange because here this paper shows this. This paper shows that about zinc or hydroxychloroquine or X, Y, and Z. Everything that they were panning. So again, it's not just we did the best we could. That's like the favorite line of somebody who wants to, get themselves off the hook. It was active obstruction of public health. And to me, he still hasn't been punished adequately. So running for public office, I mean, I can't even believe he had the balls to put his hat in the ring, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean,
I know.
It's amazing.
I know. And it made a lot of people wonder what the hell the play was. Like I had people write into me, say, Frank, I really think that this is a situation where they want to scare the shit out of people with Mamdani, but Cuomo comes in and Trump will endorse Cuomo, and it was all about getting Cuomo in so that they have their, like, no.
Well, then they don't understand the voting public, as Rich Barris would say. They don't understand, and I'm sure we're going to get into this as we go, but the public sent a message, and we'll talk about it again as we go, but I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think the people are searching for an answer, and they're easily duped, especially the younger people are easily duped by, a modern day version of Obama. I mean, the guy's good at what he does, despite the fact that his message is insane, but he's good at what he does, and he's good at convincing people he's going to give them a bunch of free stuff. Yeah.
Here is a citizen journalist named Frank Scales. He's a young kid, and he, like many people, they descended upon New York City to talk to what's the main voting demographic for Mamdani, which is I think 60% 60% foreign born, 30 or 40 something percent. I don't know what the hell it was.
What percent illegal?
Listen, you don't need any IDs. There ain't nothing holding you back in New York City.
Yeah.
Nothing holding you back.
It's unbelievable.
But take a listen to this. Here's a little bit of it. And actually, let me stack you up over here. She's
got an anti-Trump hoodie on.
She's got an anti-Trump hoodie on, and she is she's going to go out there and kill fascists.
Good.
Or they're kill fascism.
Out here protesting.
My name's Michelle, and I'm out here protesting because I'm against fascism.
Okay. What is fascism?
Thank you.
Fascism is words hard. Fascism is the
words hard.
Authoritarian. Why are words so hard right now? Fascism is an authoritarianism that is about.
Nope. Still no.
Focusing on one demographic, right? So it's.
Wow.
I'm out of breath now.
Yeah. You're dumb and you're not athletic.
Taking over and excluding the people, excluding smaller demographics.
Right. We're going to take over and exclude. And we'll call this fascism.
Wow, Frank.
Dude.
I'm so glad he asked that question because nobody does. No one makes them define it, and they can't.
Dude, fascism for any liberal in your life, who uses that, what fascism means is when someone reminds them of their father, or is generally a meanie.
Yeah,
they think that they're mean because there's no actual breakdown, and they couldn't be. The other thing there too is if they were of sound enough mind to be able to break down and define that that relationship, that centralized relationship between government and corporate interests. Yeah. Which is what you get into with fascism, and picking winners and losers, and really, there's a little bit, and of course, there's a little bit. There are nationalist overtones, undertones, all that stuff, of course. But you're talking about the actual way that a government and its corporate structure around it is indecipherable from one another.
It was Jim Mars who originally introduced me to this term back when I was listening to him in the 90s, where he had said, I think it was Mussolini who actually correctly identified fascism as corporatism. That was my first introduction to the idea. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And so I kind of never forgot that because Jim Mars is amazing. And, but I think these people, the reason she couldn't answer the question is because obviously she's just parroting talking points because, you know, you have shows like Morning Joe where that clown, Joe Scarborough, uses the term incorrectly constantly, right? And if you don't correct them, then you get that.
Well, the thing
words
is...
hard. Words hard.
Yeah, I know. The word's hard right now because it is a colloquial phrase with them.
Yeah.
It's something that signals that the people we don't like, the people we think are mean, are fascist. And fascist is a synonym for mean.
Right.
Just like when they hilariously use the word constitutional or unconstitutional. That means things we like
and don't,
and things that we think are good for people, and unconstitutional is things that we feel are not good for people.
Yeah.
There's no understanding there because, especially with fascism, they're correct. This is a fascist country.
It is.
It's a fascist government,
not capitalist.
It's the presidency has been an imperial presidency since the late 19th century.
Yeah.
You know, the order of things have been screwed up. Now, the question at that point is if they understand that and for the reasons why it's true, then they would have to understand that they actually endorse fascism.
Yes, they do. The irony. I was waiting for you to get to that. I'm like, because. Wow.
So my fascism is good. I have a noble fascism.
Well, of course.
You know, that's just, this is what.
That was an incredible clip, Frank.
Oh,
she's like the poster child. Most of them, I would imagine 99% of them would have a very similar response, which is to say hemming and hawing and being out of breath and then talking about racism or something, you know, like it would have nothing to do with the actual definition, which is why your show last night, I thought, with Timothy Alberina was so important because he was sort of in a totally different genre, was saying we have to define terms or else we can't proceed from a place of truth. We can't, if we don't have an agreed upon terminology for things, we're going to struggle with finding meaning. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly important, which is also why if you go back to like 1984, people always like to talk about Big Brother because that's all they know about 1984. But it was actually the manipulation of language that was the most dangerous thing to me in that novel. Because once you can adjust language and make words have completely opposite, in some cases, meanings, then you really have control of the public. And I think that's what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
You know, the word fascism is truly malleable, isn't it? I mean, it means anything they want it to mean.
Truly. Absolutely. We're on the same page with that. And I have more. Let's just have fun with it because right now the aftermath is really just everybody being able to assess what the culture, what you know, these little hot spots are what kind of views they're reflecting, especially when they're asked very basic questions. I love listening to the question. You know, I always know what's going to come back, but I just wonder if, you know, for example, especially liberals, I hate calling them that, but that's the nomenclature. I just wonder if they ever see themselves freeze up and not be able to answer basic questions, like when they all go viral, unless they really are you know, we really only see things that we are meant to see. Like maybe we only see the liberal videos where they can't answer what the hell things are, and maybe they aren't afforded that time to say, well, you know what? Why the hell are we so bad at this? And I'm going to make sure that when I encounter a microphone one day, I will have an adequate response. It never happens.
No, and I think that requires a bit of introspection that is not accessible to this side that I see, because it's not just the kids, you know, the younger people, it's the politicians. They never.
Oh wait, here, then listen to this. We got a lot of older people in this one. Okay. Cam Higbee says, I ran into a flock of Mamdani campaigners telling people to vote for Zoran. They couldn't even tell me why they support him. This is so sad.
What do you think Zoran's best policy is?
I think affordable housing, smaller classrooms, free buses, lower rents, freezing.
This sounds like Aurora listing gifts for Santa Claus. Okay.
I want a red wagon and I want a BB gun.
And this and I want that.
The rents for rent stabilized buildings.
That sounds great. How do you achieve that?
I think that he has really high hopes, and I think that he has a lot of
High hopes.
I like how that guy looked in the camera while she was answering. That was a great move because he was kind of giving us like the she's not going to get this.
Can you imagine that being the first answer to something like, okay, well, that's very ambitious.
Yeah.
How do you think that this person that you are voting for is going to make that happen? And the first thing you put out there is, well, he has high hopes.
He has
high hopes. Here we go.
of energy.
And achieve it through hope, or?
I think he's going to achieve it by really having a smart way of dealing with people and picking the proper people to work with him.
What is that smart way of dealing with it?
I think that he has a good sense of people around him. I think.
Did you hear that other girl? The other woman is trying to like tell her friend, "Let's go." He's being hostile.
Hostile because he's demanding that you have some kind of intellectual rigor.
It's not even a big demand.
I know, right? But to them it is. You see,
yeah,
you're not buying into my delusion. Can't you see? I just want to say I'm going to vote for him because he's good. Isn't that enough?
You're going to control the rent, basic utilities, and make public transportation free for a metropolis of 8 million people.
That's going to make it super safe, dude.
You would think that answering the very basic question of how does this happen is you would have to have that base covered.
Yeah.
And but that's a hostile follow-up.
Oh, yeah.
He makes good choices, and I think he works well with other people.
Where does the money come from?
There you go.
He will figure it out. I think that
He hasn't yet.
TDB.
Good Lord.
TBD.
He will so you just believe. She's just that naive that she's just like, he's just going to figure it out because he's so smart. He's so smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's just what it. And you remember when Donald Trump gets elected and he starts filling in members of his cabinet and he's bringing people on, he's forming his own mastermind, his own team. Mm-hmm. These same people will go, "We didn't elect Elon Musk."
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? So it has to be one person has to be every. You always people always bring on their team. Now, when it comes to someone like Joe Biden, that's not, we're talking about a non-entity of a person, that there was actually a committee of people that was standing in his place while they managed the image and likeness of Joe Biden.
Well, they managed the auto pen.
Seriously, that's just totally, so it's crazy to see them try to manage reality.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's like, why? It's like an open air asylum.
And she's not a kid, so she clearly hasn't matured intellectually into why she's voting for something.
There's more. There's other people he hits up.
I think nobody knows where they're going to do it first. I think they work it out as they go along. They don't have a plan. It's like
I agree. There's no plan.
It's a process.
I certainly agree. There's no plan. That's for sure. Question: what is Mom Donnie's best policy?
Childcare for all.
What's he going to do for childcare?
He's going to make it available for everyone.
How's he going to do that?
He has a plan in terms of taxing and
God has a plan too.
There's a lot of trust I'm seeing in this population.
God, and if you were to tell any of these people, God has a plan, don't worry, they would look at you like, don't even give me that shit.
But
things I can't see, I can't see. You believe things you can't see.
Right. But Mamdani's plan.
This is why
I can't see that, but I believe it.
Well, this is why I actually just mentioned Bill Whittle the other night, because we were talking about the Daily Wire and the after hours and the kind of people there and who I used to watch in the Daily Wire. I used to watch Andrew Klavan a lot. Mm-hmm. And I found the first time I ever saw Andrew Klavan was when he was doing, I forgot who he was doing it, what the company was, but he was making videos alongside this guy, Bill Whittle. And one of the first videos I ever saw of Bill Whittle, he did for this segment called The Firewall. And he called he likened socialism to a cryptid. that it's one of those things where you hear about working and all that stuff, but like it's essentially the Loch Ness monster.
Right.
There's no evidence that this thing exists, especially functional socialism.
Functional, right.
You know,
it's a theoretical.
It's not. People always say, you know what? Well, in European countries, they have free health care and education and all this stuff. I was like, you understand, it always happens because nobody's educated on this.
Yeah.
Nobody's educated on this. When you talk about European countries that are generally the size of American states, mm-hmm. that are ethnically homogenous, that are culturally homogenous. At least they used to be.
Yeah, or were.
There's a reason why that's breaking down and why the social welfare systems are not really working that much anymore. You look at what's going on in Paris with all the North Africans.
Yeah.
You know, when those systems were there for French people, that's something that you can get behind a little bit, and you also can budget for it a little bit more but also people don't understand where we are. They don't understand the United States, what the Constitution actually is, what federalism is, the republic model where every state in the union can subsidize.
I was going to say, and you always say that. Go ahead, try the experiment in your state. Show us how it works.
Show us how it works in Wyoming.
Right.
Like everybody in Switzerland has made it work for them.
Right. Yep.
What we cannot do, and for very obvious practical reasons, on top of moral reasons, is have a small governing body of people in a swamp in Maryland dictating one size fits all for people across a land the size of a subcontinent.
Frank, all you have to do is look north of the border to see what a failure socialized medicine is. The waiting times, like the people have no concept of that. And it's gotten so bad in Canada that now they're just offering to kill people just to lighten the load.
Even if you're not sick.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's where it ends up. And these people are so dim that they just, I don't know. I think they just live in like a fairy tale world, cartoon world where no, he'll figure it out because he's charismatic.
Absolutely.
I mean, I fell for it with Obama the first time, so I have some sympathy. But what I don't have sympathy for is not learning your damn lesson, right? Like New York City is a mess, and they all say it's a mess. Well, who's been running New York City for a quarter of a century? I mean, it's Democrat policy after Democrat policy, and if nothing is getting better, why do you keep going to that well? I don't know.
It's
not that there was a better. I know I was. Not that there was much of a better choice this time. Again, I don't know much about the Republican candidate. But.
There's not a good choice, but you can tell that a compelling. Curtis Sliwa.
Right.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You can't. The reason why the answer is never found is because people's sense of direction has been fried since they were children.
That's true.
You can't go to the bad side of town. The bad side of town being less government, more individual action, more liberty, responsibility, Americanism.
Right.
You can't go over there because that's the right. And on the right is where these hideous creatures live, like Hitler.
And the fascists.
The fascists.
Because that's what that is.
Even though they prescribe people live in a country that is not very individualistic, which means that even fascism is leftism. Communism and fascism, they're evil dueling twin sisters.
Yeah.
One relies a lot more on identity and class warfare. The other one has a little bit more of a nationalistic bend to it, but it's not. I mean, they're leftist twin sisters. If it's centralized, it's left.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with people because they literally they have no sense of direction. If the only direction they can go is left.
Yeah.
It's unlike traveling around the globe. If you keep going left, you're not going to end up in the east eventually.
And so I've heard one positive out of this. If we're going to pull something positive out of this mayoral election, is that it could put. I've heard. I don't know what the rationale for this was, other than the fact that in the last gubernatorial election, Zeldin almost pulled it off. That this could lead to a Republican governor, which would at least help give some kind of a buffer to whatever's going to go on in the city. Now, I don't know if that's going to be true, going to pan out, but next year, I think, right, 2026 will be basically, it looks like it's going to be Hochul and Stefanik. Yeah. So, I mean, if Stefanik wins, then that could, at least that friction could rescue the city. But it seems like that's what the city wants.
It does. It's sad.
It really is sad, man. I mean, I worked in the city for, 6, 7, 8 years. I mean, I liked it in there. I don't know if I would go back, but while I was there, it was great. The people were great. I don't know it, but I haven't been back in a while, and it concerns me.
Well, listen, the people are stupid.
They are, obviously.
The people. There's no room to learn lessons. You know what it is with these people, especially these people. All of their Here, let's do a couple more seconds.
And saving money, and I think it's will help everyone.
What is the plan, though?
What is the plan?
Yeah. You're out here campaigning for him, right? What's the plan?
You mean how is he going to fund that? There will be childcare for.
But how do you achieve that?
Well, we've achieved it for pre-K for 3s, and you just expand it so that it's.
How do you expand it?
Well, you use the schools, you use existing facilities, and you use existing tax base. And
the existing tax base creates more
out of thin air.
So, how does the same money give you more services?
It's
Say you're taxing more, you're stealing more, and then can you give us the results? Can you give us the results of the city schools? What's the graduation rate like?
Well, yeah, that's a whole other thing, right? I mean, failing upwards, I suppose.
Yeah, nutty, man. It's crazy. I mean, listen. Hold on. There's a little bit. There's so. What were you going to say?
No, this is just keep going. It's just depressing me that these people.
Money that's being this way.
He's building affordability for Europe.
He's doing what?
He's building affordability for Europe.
Oh,
how does he do that?
Yeah, so he's going to tax the rich.
This guy can't even. It's very, very rare that you see a Chinese guy who doesn't speak English very well. So he's probably just a newly arrived person.
He probably came during the Biden administration over the border,
and just like it's time to go.
Tax the rich.
I mean, this is horrible, man. Here's a little bit more for you. This is Hassan Piker. This is the guy who just not. I mean, he's a straight up commie. He's a Twitch streamer. He makes a lot of money. He has a lot of people that watch him. He's a fucking tanky. If there ever was one, he's a tanky. And he's the one that just a little while ago he got a lot of shit even from his more faithful followers because he was
the dog
shocking. He's shocking his dog with the shock collar.
That's right. That's
because the dog had the audacity of moving like a foot off of the desk, and he wanted the dog to stay on the desk and stay away from him. So he's fucking shocking the dog. Which I think was an incredible display because that's how liberals govern.
Yeah. Of course.
That's how they govern. And it's why I said before, it's when we talk about the Islam aspect of this, I always say this is why I really do believe. People say, what the hell is it with the pairing of liberals and Islam? I said, well, Islam is a severe religion that comes along with a severe political system, and liberals are very severe people, and they have subjugation fantasies. They're always hallucinating about people chasing after them that aren't actually doing so. They must want it.
The victim mentality.
It's very psychosexual with them. We already know that they're fucking crazy. But here's Hassan Piker saying it's not the quiet part anymore, but it's just more and more proud. Listen.
Done. What do you think it means that this guy ran as a socialist and anti-communism didn't work to stop him? That's big.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. And the reality of the matter is, there's a lot of antagonism. There's no class consciousness in the United States of America. It's one of the things that I try to address every day with my commentary.
There's no class consciousness?
We are in the center of the imperial core, and this is a country that defeated the Soviet Union, unfortunately. And of course, this is all in response to a question of he ran as a socialist, Mamdani did, and all of the anti-communist rhetoric didn't work this time. What do you think? And this is a celebratory night for people who are looking at this as, and they are the first to call you a traitor. Remember, when they call you a traitor, whose country, what breakaway nation in their mind are you betraying? Because it's not the American Republic.
It's a good point.
It's not. I mean, this is some.
I've never heard, I know nothing about this guy. I would never come across him. He sounds like a, sort of pseudo-intellectual, obviously.
You'll see a lot of them now.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've ever actually heard him speak. I knew the name, but I never heard him speak. Wow.
And I just think about all the people, for decades, people like patriots like Joe McCarthy, who had their lives ruined for sounding the alarm, especially McCarthy and Martin Dies and all those people from the early 20th century. Because even by the 1950s, we were already completely chock full of KGB, commies, all that stuff. And chock full. But by the 20s and 30s, it was already going on. In New York, all of this is actually really appropriate when you know the history that went down in New York City a little over 100 years ago. I mean, all of the resources, all of the people that were trained, the Bolsheviks who were trained, the militants who were trained to go and not only overthrow Russia in the October Revolution of 1917. They were not only done in New York, they were training in the streets. They were funded by people like Jacob Schiff and all the partners at Kuhn and Loeb and all those other companies out there. They were training in the street. They sent the Bolsheviks trained in New York to go destabilize and kill Tsar Nicholas and his family, the Romanovs and their slaughter children.
Yeah,
and do all this stuff. That all started in New York, was the epicenter of it. And the fact that here we have these fucking mindless Twitch streamers in New York City popping champagne because the force that once took down the Soviet Union has finally been slayed. And the fact that we destroyed people like Joe McCarthy for so many years for trying to sound the alarm, and here we are.
Yeah. And the fantasy in this Ukraine-Russia conflict, right? The fantasy is that we have to stop Putin because he wants to reassemble the USSR. So I wonder what side of the Ukraine-Russia conflict he falls on, just out of curiosity, because obviously the Ukraine flag in the bio is a dead giveaway of your political slant. So I'm wondering if they can square that peg either. I mean, I would imagine that he would be on the side of Vladimir Putin, wouldn't he?
That could be.
I don't know. Again, I know nothing about the man, but it's fun to poke holes in the logic of these people because it's so illogical. But that's interesting. Again, I don't know him from a hole in the wall. I just know the name.
It's crazy what people are being comfortable saying. Here's a little bit of George Will. He was talking about the election in New York City as he was speaking with Bill Maher, and this got around a little bit, and I thought it was interesting. Here, take a listen.
It'd be horrible for a guy like you, who you spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much, and here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mandami, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah. I think every 20 years or so.
Wait.
We need every 20 years or so, we need a conspicuous, confined experiment with socialism so we can crack it up again. Socialist slogan used to be, workers of the world unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. The new socialist slogan is, trust us, this time it won't be a mess. So, when the post-war Labour government in Britain was about to get started, one of their leading lights was a socialist named Nurian Bevan. He said, what could go wrong? He said, we have a nation bedded on coal, surrounded by fish. It would take an organizational genius to have a shortage of either. In 3 years, they had a shortage of both. That's socialism.
Supposed to be.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, he said, every 20 years we need a contained experiment. This is not contained. This is New York City. This is not middle of nowhere. So I'm not sure how contained this is, and I'm not sure how, what level of, how bad do things have to get for New Yorkers to admit they were wrong? Because as we just said, these people tend to not look in the mirror. I don't even think they own mirrors. The politicians certainly don't do it because, again, let's go back to Cuomo. It was your inability to scrap together even the slightest bit of courage to stand up. Like, again, you're running as an independent because this is what happened to the party you were a part of. So, like, where's the courage or introspection going to come from to change this? Like, now that it's embedded in New York, I don't know. I don't know. The future seems extremely unpredictable. I don't think it's a contained experiment anymore.
No, it isn't, and that's the other thing that I don't take comfort in what a lot of other people put out there, saying, you know what, I'm happy this happened because now everybody gets to learn a lesson of how bad it can get. Like, listen, first of all, here's what we know. 62%, this is what I've got over here. 62% of Mamdani vote was foreign born. 49% were female. And 80% of the females were under 30. And I naturally wonder how many of that 80% were born in Ohio and Indiana.
Yeah.
You know, with the gentrification that goes on over there all the time. The bubblegum brain morons who watch Sex and the City reruns in high school and they think that they could, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to be Carrie Bradshaw. Ruin the city. This is my city. You know, I belong here. My people. I adopted it. But, you know, I take a look at this and I say, is that really the way it's going to work out? Because I don't, especially with every last one of these man on the street interviews that get worse and worse as they go on. I see that nobody learns their lesson. Yeah. And people's cognitive decline is only worsening. I mean, you listen to those women that we were listening to before. I mean, there's no room. Those cups are overflowing.
Yeah.
There's no room to learn lessons anymore. Their cups have been filled. The minds are a clogged toilet. And it's just, so I don't take solace. And it's okay. Let them see how bad it's going to get. No. That's not what made the United States a high-functioning society at one point. Allowing thieving children to just have their tantrum and letting them tire themselves out is not how any society takes itself seriously, allows it to be torn apart. Children were put in their place. The credit cards were canceled. All of that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the thing. And you know, Trump trying to be the adult in the room then just gets, you know, pigeonholed because he, you know, as Bill Maher, you know, inaccurately assessed, he's trying to exercise, you know, an immense amount of power. Well, I mean, the pendulum has to swing back in the other direction. How do you right the ship? I mean, if you just ride the momentum, you're going to continue in this Mamdani direction.
First of all, what power was it?
I'm assuming he's talking about things like deportations or I don't know because it's not an accurate depiction, but I'm assuming that's what's going on in his mind.
That didn't already exist when he got there.
Yeah,
I mean, we know how out of control and how mutant the presidency is.
Yeah.
The actual the powers of the Oval Office is not constitutional.
Right.
As they are today, they are not constitutional.
Right.
That's not Trump. Now our pipe dreams is that he would pick that power apart and close the door and weld it and throw away the key.
Yeah.
But to say that he is accruing power like we've never seen before, like, come on.
And to have not said that in the last 4 years of the Biden administration. I mean, Bill Maher is not intellectually consistent at all. He has these moments of clarity, but he's unable to like take all those disparate pieces and glue them together into like a functional way of being. He's all over the place on different issues. Sometimes I'm like, oh, he's spot on this. And then other times I'm like, what are you looking at? You know, I just
and again, when you prod a little bit and you try to see what's behind what reasoning exists behind one statement or another, you usually get something that is inverted. So I hear and see tons of people making conversation and declarative statements about Donald Trump being a dictator for doing one thing or another, which is really actually just constitutional. Like when you say, I'm going to throw something back to the States, or I want to throw something back to the States, you're saying, I don't think that I should have any influence over this.
Right, the federal government should. Right.
The federal government should not be dealing with this, or to go against a court decision that created an unconstitutional precedent that became a tradition of ours.
Tradition.
It's a tradition. It's not constitutional.
Right.
And so because this is the way that we live our lives here in a civic sense, so much is lost that you can actually confidently. You can see people every day confidently declaring that somebody who is lessening the influence of a central body is actually accruing power.
He's a king, don't you know?
He's a king. The king that threw away his crown. You know, and there are other instances where he is totally engaging in power that is illegitimate.
Right.
And I don't like that at all. But, you know,
because that's what the office has become, as you said.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep.
I absolutely hate it. I'm not hopeful that all of that is going to be, that rat's nest is going to be unwound in 3 years.
Not all of it.
No way.
No.
Not at all.
But, you know, something like dismantling the Department of Education, when I look at these clips And I think, well, clearly we have not educated the youth. So one of the best things you could do is to dismantle the Department of Education, because maybe that would be the beginning of a reset for the next generation to be able to be actually educated instead of indoctrinated. When I see those clips, that's the first thing I think. If you're going to break anything apart, it's got to start there. And there's a lot of other things, obviously, that have to be broken apart. But I would love to see education reform, in some cases, even more than healthcare reform. I would like to see education reform in this country, because those interviews were frightening.
Yeah. Here, I put a question out last night. I said, so what was the hottest takeaway from tonight? Just from anything. Here's what some people said: that we need voter ID and clean elections. That is from Jeff Harmon's wife, Camille.
I mean, that's fair.
Joe Elaine says the system is very rigged, and if Republicans don't get the balls to fight at any means to save this country, it's lost. What would Republicans have done to save New York, though? Here's what was broken down to me. Here's great one from the other side of the mountain. Said this. Here's the latest from the AP. This was 5 hours ago. In a city of 8 million people, Mamdani won with 1,036,051 votes. Cuomo had 854,995. Sliwa 146,000. Paltry.
Yeah.
So 2,037,183 people voted for mayor. Roughly 6 million people were not represented. But when Boy Wonder moves into Gracie Mansion and can't deliver on his promises, he will find out who really runs the Big Apple. Well, you can't say that 6 million people. There's a lot of children in there.
Yeah.
There are people who actually are not eligible to vote for a number of reasons.
And don't
don't even try.
Yeah.
There are people who are completely not. You can make a very solid claim that if all of the eligible people in the city who are eligible to vote did vote for
you,
even
Frank,
anybody that wasn't Mamdani, that person would have won.
Yeah,
you can make that claim 100%. So there is a.
What's the reason for that? Is it apathy? Is it frustration? Is it what is it? I mean, that's an unanswerable question. That's like a Rich Barris question, right? Like that would be. I know we would all be hypothesizing, but that very much interests me, because it's not a, I mean, I'm in favor of making Election Day a holiday, or whatever we have to do to try to increase engagement, provided the electorate is educated. But that's shocking to me, because you're right. There's a lot of people that will be frustrated, but the things could change. Like the power still resides with the people. But how do we activate? Trump probably does it better than anybody, but Trump's not going to be around forever. So how do we activate the rest of those people? Is it just simply a refreshing candidate, or what do you think? What's the answer to that? It's a lot of people.
I don't know, but there is that other very glaring thing that is seen all over the place right now, again, that we were talking about, and that is if you're not really aligned with Trump, even on a messaging standpoint, you almost have no juice behind you.
Okay, well.
And that is, again, as we've said many times before, very easy to see. Trump is not a Republican.
Nope, not even close.
He's not a Republican, and people don't like the Republican Party.
No, and Frank,
they're taking a chance with an individual.
Yes.
And
that's me to a T. I voted for him twice, not 3 times, because in 2016, I did not vote for Hillary, don't worry. But I made the mistake of not understanding that Trump was not a Republican, because he was running under, you know what I mean? I just had a much more simplistic view at that point, where I was like, oh, I am so anti-Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, that whole neocon pile of garbage, right? And I think that the Republican Party is the only party that's trying to have the internal civil war, but it's been going on for so long, and it seems like one of the only people that's actually fighting it was Trump. He realized, I think correctly so, that is a party of cowards. And so it was the only party that he could get into and basically claim for his own. And you're right, I don't think he's running like a Republican. But if and when he's gone, what's left? And so I see what's happening today as the sort of like dying gasp of this old neocon establishment that nobody wants anymore. Like Dick Cheney died the other day, right? Whatever. And again, I'm not saying that as like, take all of the, humanity, soul, religious aspect out of it. I'm just talking nuts and bolts. He's not here anymore. Whatever. The guy, as you said correctly the other night, I hope he found some way to repent in the last moments. I don't think so, because right up to the very end, he was staring into the camera, screaming and yelling about Trump and lying and doing, he's just a miserable.
He endorsed Kamala Harris last year.
Miserable human being, terrible human being, right? I don't know the guy, but I don't really need to know him. His public persona was horrendous, and everything I ever saw him do, and who knows how many countless lives he extinguished from this earth. So he's gone. Good riddance. I don't wish for anybody's death, but when he's gone, I don't care. But I think like the Republican Party, I think Dick Cheney's death needs to be a harbinger of what has to happen to this neocon, this sort of like anchor that's around the Republican Party. It has to die, because people, I think, are voting. Rich Barrett said this the other day on his show. He said, believe it or not, there are Trump Mamdani voters. And I had to think about it for a second, and I'm like, that actually makes sense to me. In my mind, I say, it's because people know the system is so broken, and they see Trump as not associated really with either party. They don't see him as a Republican. Otherwise, like you said, the Republican momentum would continue. They see him as an individual. They see him as a stick of dynamite, right? They see him as something that could hopefully change things that they know are broken, even if they can't intellectualize or verbalize how or why it's broken. It's just not working for people. The system is broken. The sides are the same. And I'm just starting to see that in so many different facets. But that Republican Party, that old Republican Party, the Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, Wolfowitz people, those people, if that idea doesn't die, then I don't know what we're left with. We're left with just the left. We're just left with Mamdani. I mean, I guess because no one wants to be. I'm not a Republican. I would never be a Republican. I can't stand that party. Not until that neocon wing is gone. And I got to be honest, it doesn't seem like they are, because they got plenty of mouthpieces in the media too. The Levins, the Shapiros, all these people, disgusting people.
That party is waiting ever so impatiently for the Trump years to be over.
Exactly, man. They're just waiting him out. I believe that's what's going on in the Senate. That's what's going on in all these places. They pat Trump on the head, and I think he knows this. They pat him on the head, and they're just like, only 3 more years. Well,
dude, this is what's really frustrating, because we're less than a year away now from the midterms.
I know,
and you have all 3 keys to making legislation a reality in this country, and there's very little that's being done outside of executive orders. And the only reason why executive orders are effective is because the executive branch is still way too big and way too influential. Yeah. The agencies are still open. That's the only reason why there can be an order that affects education in this country. Yeah. That was the end around of legislation. Yeah. Put so many things in as, policy decisions, just so it's I can't anymore. No. And, and the more I hear, I said it the other night, if I got to hear about one more Venezuelan drug boat getting bombed, when every time I put in a payroll request for my accountant, I'm fucking suffocating.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm.
And I don't know if that message is getting through, but again, this is what the people want. Clearly, it's like, we're not saying it's, or it can be both. Like, I understand, I'm not naive, and we don't live in a vacuum. Foreign policy and peace in the Middle East does in some way affect Americans, but there were pressing needs domestically, and there are pressing needs domestically that at least the messaging is off from the White House. I mean, they have to realize, and I think this is why people may seem helter-skelter when it comes to their voting, because they're just searching for something to represent them, which is why you might not be able to predict the pattern of their voting. They're just looking for something. I really do believe what happened yesterday was a reflection of that helter-skelter nature. They're like, okay, well, we put Trump in overwhelmingly, but I mean, some things are good, but not enough at this point. And is that a Trump problem? I mean, being president has got to be, I can't imagine how many directions you're being pulled in. So, but is that the people around him again, like was plaguing him in the first term? I don't know the answer to that, but I know that something needs to change either in messaging and or in reality, a more domestic focused policy, because people are going to jump ship because, again, they have no allegiance to the Republican Party. They have an allegiance to Donald Trump. And I just think he has to be careful with spending that political capital, because having it wasted on foreign entanglements, even though they don't, even if they don't result in all out war, it's just not. It's not the look that people wanted. It's not what they expected. And again, to go back to Rich, because he's got his finger on the pulse, he's saying people are straight up going to punish the Republican Party for this if something doesn't change. As you said, they could be they have all three branches and they're not doing much.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating as hell.
Yeah,
it's frustrating as hell. It really is. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah,
and as always, I don't put that all on the executive.
No.
I don't. No. You can't. But it's just. It's infuriating, and I just really, I don't know. If it weren't for the taxes are awful. They got to go away, and I hate how I can't. It's a nightmare. You get claustrophobic sometimes.
Yeah,
I get claustrophobic thinking about taxes.
Yeah, I know.
And no, it's awful. It's awful, and I hate everybody that benefits from that theft. I'm starting to hate everybody. And that's the whole point. It's giving something that's not supposed to be given is about creating entitlement for some and resentment for other. And it goes on. It goes on and on and on and on. I mean, what we're hearing coming out of people with this EBT SNAP stuff right now.
I was just gonna say, and we didn't have a chance to talk about that, but wow, did that bring out the crazy level of entitlement immediately? And I was seeing some great sort of videos and people posting about how, well, actually, I know a lot of people who sell their $3,000 worth of food stamps for $1,000 worth of cash so they can go go to the spa, go do this, go do that, and the kids are still not eating. So it's like the system is broken in so many ways, and people don't have the courage to say, hey, the system is broken, we have to revamp it. No, just keep the broken system limping along until what? What's the end game at that point? Right? It's financial ruin for a nation. It cannot go on forever, but nobody has the courage to say, hey, we need to fix this problem because it's a real problem.
Yeah.
I didn't even, I guess I was so naive. I didn't even realize that you could sell food stamps for money. But I saw several business owners that were saying, oh yes, this is exactly what happens. And that is why they're pissed. Not because they're not going to be able to get nutritious food for their children. No. They're not going to be able to sell these food stamps and make the money to go do the other things they were doing in life.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's very wild.
Wild.
It's wild. I have no sympathy left for people anymore.
No.
And that's just what it is, because it's even like with time and time again, Obamacare, the ACA. I would love when they would do those town halls from time to time and somebody would show up and say, I couldn't afford health care, and now my family of 6 is covered, and we went to our physicals the other day. I'm like, well, of course, if you rob Peter to pay Paul,
Paul's going to be pretty happy.
Paul's going to show up. Paul's going to show up to a town hall and say, this is great.
Yeah.
And again, what does it do? The first thing it all does, and they know it too, the first thing that it all does is it destroys the actual nature of charity and helping your neighbor.
Yeah.
It destroys the actual nature by making it involuntary, because then what you have is entitlement and resentment pitted against each other. And as it goes on for generations, what you're hearing from people right now is how their lifestyle has been disrupted.
I think that's the biggest thing. I was just going to say, and sort of there's a relationship between the amount of time spent in that state and then the direct proportion of entitlement you feel. Because especially if you grew up in that state. Well, this is just always the way it's been. You want to take this away? Yes. And actually, you know what? I dare to say, in the end, you will be better for it. It will actually improve your life. Now, again, and I don't even think we have to say this, but we're not talking about the few cases where this was actually meant to help people who are otherwise, incapable in whatever those circumstances are. But again, that's not, what was the number, Frank? How many million?
43.
43 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the number. You know what I mean? Like that is not all need. Sorry, no way. I don't believe it. So now you've got to figure out, well, what is the number? And this is the thing. just, when an idea, once a government bureaucracy is built, it never recedes. It has to be forced into obsolescence. And Trump, for whatever you think of him, is that forcing agent. And I cheer on every day. And I think that's why he was elected, to be that change agent, to be the one that said, listen, we're going to take this apart. We're going to take this apart. That is what people want. They don't want more of the same. They want this stuff taken apart because they know it doesn't work. And if he doesn't do it, I mean, what personality? I mean, even if you like J.D. Vance, I don't really have much of an opinion on him. I mean, he's fine. But you think he's got bigger balls than Trump? No, I don't. So if Trump can't get it done, I don't know. And as you said, it's not all executive branch. We obviously have to focus on getting better congressmen. We have to focus on getting better everywhere across the board, because one person can't do it. That's not the way the system is designed. But Trump being at the head of the sort of serpent, I think shows you just how broken the rest of Congress is, and the judicial system, and so many places that just push back on actual authentic change to help return us to a system that is more sustainable for the people. I know that's not what people in Washington want.
No, it's not. I mean, I've always said I'm definitely not a proponent of ripping the Band-Aid off. You can't rip the Band-Aid off of things like this. There are people who need this help that they'll die.
Right.
If you pull that all away, healthcare, whatever it is, but there needs to be an urgent, if you actually care about people, there is an urgent need to sunset these programs and to give the money back to the states to go and budget for how they can facilitate. Oh, I mean, all this care is given in the states as well. It's just all the money and the processing is done elsewhere and whatever. And the block grants come in. Yeah. It's not like people who get government, assistance in Oklahoma go to Washington, D.C. for medical care.
Yeah.
This needs to be put back where it could be managed locally. And of course, the big thing there is non-citizens taking part in it. I mean, you know how many, there's something like, I think there's somewhere around 20 states that are dragging their feet in giving SNAP data over to the feds.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. And, the most commonly come to conclusion is that they're trying to shield just how many non-citizens are leeching off of this. And
so, it already is socialism. I mean,
absolutely.
I just think it's funny that, last night in his acceptance speech, Mamdani said, things like, there's no problem big enough the government can't solve. And I'm like, and there we have it. That's just a fundamental difference, is that you believe that this Leviathan, which can't get anything right, failed during COVID, fails all the time, constantly, does not fix problems. They create bureaucracies to manage problems, which just become then lingering problems, right? Problems don't go away when the government gets involved. They just manage them a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
So that's just a fundamental difference, is that I trust innovation and people and the private sector much more to actually solve a problem. And people like Mamdani and his supporters think mommy and daddy government is going to solve my problems. And I don't think they want the responsibility. And that's you're either made one way or you're made another way. And I want the government out of every facet of my life if possible. Get out of my food, get out of my medicine, get out of everything. You don't know what you're doing. Right? And
100% infantilizing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the scariest thing about really watching the footage coming out from any voting district that is grappling with these choices. Some of them are bad choices, but it's not like, I mean, there was enthusiasm for one. Nobody that voted for Cuomo wanted to.
No, it was a hold the nose thing.
But the other guy, I mean, you got at least 1/8 of the population of New York City to throw an enthusiastic vote there, thinking that this was something that is fresh and exciting and going to work, because they have no idea about how warmed over the ideas are and how anti-human it actually is. But it's just, dude. And while all this is going on, there's incredible wars that are starting and heating up within what you can call right-wing media. But before we get to that, let me roll through some super chats and
10 past 8.
Dude, I know, and I want you to plug. I want you to plug the.
We got another promo code for the
project.
Beats. Yeah,
good. Jay Britz, good evening, Frank and Jay. Excellent dialogue as always. Thank you. While Jay was talking, I was listening to him and putting your names into the name picker. So all these have already been entered. Kevin Polina says Nasara. Wow, I haven't heard about that in a while.
Yeah.
The dude from 1965 survives. Says Frank, it's like this. NYC is lost. Move to Montana. That's what Molly commented on today.
Montana is beautiful, I have to say.
Yeah, it is. It looks beautiful. I've never been there.
Oh God, driving on the highway is just like a whole other experience.
It sounds great. Gribble Sillin says the best content right here. Quite frankly, thank you.
Yeah.
Kevin Polina says again for admission and a chance. Looking forward to the show. Shan says my favorite guest.
Who?
Right. Yeah, see, Ronan. I mean, I got Jay for like twice a month, but I sometimes I wish it was once a week.
Well, you're gonna get me next week.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
On the 11th, and the 11th you'll be by with Sal the butcher will be here too. It's gonna be a lot.
We're gonna talk a lot of meat.
Who knows? I mean, Sal's raging about all this stuff too. It's gonna be a good night that night, and then you'll be in the studio again, which is becoming just a holiday eve tradition.
Have we missed a Thanksgiving Eve since I started coming on the show?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
We did. You'll be in here for the 26th, the night before Thanksgiving, and then.
That might be a special night. Frank and I are working on something.
Oh yes.
Frank almost forgot.
Yeah. Well, we just came up with it.
Yeah, we did. We literally just came up with it.
It'll be good. It'll be good that night. Let's see here. Ronan Dosho says, "Hey Frank, hey Jay, awesome show intro song." Well, you can thank ST who left the first super chat of the night. Thank you, ST. Road Trip says secular college educated white women voted in communism in a country founded by Christians November 5th, 2025. Well, you can say what you want about. There's a lot to be said about that, and one of the most common memes out there right now is what this means about New York City's power dynamic and Islam and with me once again, what an American multiculturalist worldview. If you're someone in America who believes multiculturalism, if that's your worldview, it's based on this self-deprecating liberal idea of pluralism, okay, and subjectivism, where all things are relative and all truths are valid, which is not true. It's how we've largely been encouraged over time to let go of our cultures, our traditions, and abandon, for the most part, the religion of our civilization's forefathers and architects, which in the West, that means Christianity. After a while, what these kumbaya progressives in both parties have either failed to see or deliberately ignore is that the multiculturalism encourages foreigners to import aspects of their cultures that are largely governed by their religions. And wherever those religions originate, and they are a part of how people live their lives, that's where they are most appropriate to be. So I'm not going to stress about the whole line about 9/11 and forgetting, the terrorists won and all that stuff. Even if 9/11 didn't happen, the capitulation that we're seeing right now is a horrible sign. There's a political system, a very severe political system that is antithetical to our Constitution that's baked into Islam. So that's discouraging. That is a discouraging thing. And this Mamdani guy puts himself off as a smirking, Americanized kid. But it's all PR. Just like the people that you need to be worried about are the ones who are emboldened by him, that you see, already in Times Square chanting that they're essentially marking their territory right now. Just like Sadiq Khan in London. Oh. He played the role of the neutralizing diplomat while everyone else had to deal with the machete fights like it's Arabian Nights. That's anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let me see here. Scott in Ohio says, Frank and Jabari, I need to decide how much money to put into a flex spending account, FSA, for 2026 because I'm planning to do the full intake program through the Health Restoration Project. Is it possible to say how much out of pocket this will cost? Flat fee, labs, supplements, etc. Thank you so much, Jay. I think the floor is yours now.
Yeah, I mean that's almost impossible to answer without actually doing the intake. But if you are a member, you will get it for less money than if you came just from the outside just to do that. So I would highly recommend. And in fact, whenever you decide to do that, we're going to have some kind of a promo code right now for the month of November. That's the month we're in. If you want to become a member at the Health Reclamation Project, you can go to healthreclamationproject.com and you can use the code Turkey45.
Turkey45.
Turkey45. Yeah, I came up with that. And that will be a lifetime discount. And then you will be able to see what everything costs at the membership discount. And, we really try to take care of everybody because that's the whole point. The membership has a whole bunch of things that come along with it, like the Q&As and the lives and the educational material and the written material and the video material. But it also gives you access to, education on peptides. It also gives you access to, one-on-ones and, checkups and intakes and all kinds of stuff at a discounted price. But the membership just gets you in for that. So go to the Health Reclamation Project. If you just click on membership, that'll take you to... You click on membership and then join our community. And then you just use the code Turkey45 and you'll be in. And then I can, and then you can message us actually even in the community and we can give you an idea of what it would cost. It's not going to be, the thing is it depends on the labs. Like if you want to go all out, like, you want to get basic labs, or if you want to go all out and you want to get functional labs, it could vary. But we could do a lot for a modest amount to get you rolling. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, I already know a few people in my life who pay to be in the actual just
the membership.
The membership there.
Yeah.
And are already not missing any of your lives and how interactive it is. And they, you actually do get a lot of one-on-one attention even.
Yeah, especially right now because, we're not, obviously we're building this thing, Jen and I together, but yeah, it's fun. It's like an intimate setting, and we try to do the live it never conflicts with Quite Frankly. Right now it's Thursdays from 6 to 7, but the more people that come in, we're actually thinking about adding a second day, so you'll get multiple lives per week. And at the last half an hour, 20 minutes, we try to do Q&A, and I try to answer every single question that's in the chat, so that so that's just something you can just get that for your membership. So if you're not working on anything specifically, you just want to check on this, that, or the other thing, we'll have options for that too. But there's a lot of learning by osmosis, and then just learning in the community, because as people in the community learn, they can give back to other people who are new. So it's really becoming exactly what we had hoped it would be, and we can keep it at such a low price point that it's making me happy. Because that's I would do it for free if I could, but my goal is to be able to quit my other job and do this forever.
That's it'd be wonderful if we have if that was it, because especially freedom in that respect means you never have pressure to have to spend any time doing something that's just not productive. Right. I know how that's like when you're beholden to other people, and it's not. But that's it. And listen, the healthreclamationproject.com link is in the description of the episode. Turkey45.
Turkey45. Easy to remember.
Yeah. So join a whole bunch of other people. All right. Let's see here. Kathy 1010 says CVS refused to fill a script for ivermectin for me. Oh, I know that.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. CVS in particular. They were something else with that. Nat Wall 330 says, love this show. I did not put Nat Wall in yet. Nat
remember
Wall.
Also, I think if I remember correctly, Andrew Cuomo won an Emmy award. I believe he won an Emmy for his COVID press conferences. I mean, that tells you what a joke this whole thing was.
Well, the Emmy, it was hilarious because the Emmy was right around the time I remember every time he would go on CNN nightly to be interviewed by his brother and talk about Mom's meatballs. They were
yeah, Mom's meatballs were on CNN, you mean?
Yeah. So the two Meatball brothers.
Yeah.
So when the Meatball brothers were on every night before, of course, all the sex scandals and stuff, the Emmy was all about this slow boiled kind of experiment to see if they could actually push him for president.
I do remember
They
that.
wanted him to go. They wanted to see if that was actually going to be viable to go up against Donald Trump.
Right.
And so, because at first I remember everybody would ask him, so Governor Cuomo, presidential, people are they want you to, people are asking about your presidential hopes and all that stuff, giving him a chance to kind of like act disinterested and act like, no, my mission is here. No. My mission is here right now. I couldn't possibly. I couldn't possibly. But then the nipple twisting came out. We all knew about that, and that was okay. So here we go on Pilled. Big Chief Patriot says, "Let's go. Party started." Corey J says, "Put me in for the silver." You're already in. Amethyst Cat says, "Hello, Frank. If I win that silver, will I deliver it? Will Jay deliver it?" Yes, he will.
I'm just going to travel around the country with Frank Silver, like Santa Claus.
Vesper says, "For the love of a pirate, Frank, please send that silver." Well, you're in. Let's see what happens. NX17, I love silver, but Frank and Jay are solid gold. Wow. Brew Bark says, "I've got silver. I want some of that 3i Atlas nickel." Lynn RC says, "I used to complain when silver was $20 an ounce." I know.
I know, right?
Dub Helix says, "TP for your bunghole." And Delona says, these are all who believed it when the kids running for class president was going to get rid of homework and no more meatloaf." They still believe it now.
That's great. That's so true.
Jesse James says, "Going to be an interesting study to watch NYC through this." Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the media, because there were a lot of people sounding the alarm on even like CNN that this is a very big problem for the Democrat Party. They have overcommitted, and they've also not done enough to stop this and pull the roots out when it was in a manageable position. That it's now metastasized. Even though this is something, if you wanted to be able to stop, you would have had to go back many decades.
Right, of course.
This is the result. Mamdani is the result of so many decades of promising these things and not getting them to people, and only having, well, it's a Republican's fault that you didn't get it. Now they just want somebody who wants to go to war.
Yeah.
To get them those free things that they were told they deserve. Willie Fix It says, "Send me a round of silver." Willie Sentinel says, "I have lost the NY groove, but I'm feeling Rocky Mountain High. Great discussion and guest." Let me get Willie and Sentinel in there. Willie and Sentinel. Remember, all these names are going into the giant basket that we're going to be announcing the winner of on Saturday night. Safety Net said, "Here is a low-fat, sugar-free, gluten-free cookie donated for the draw. Much love."
We don't do low-fat.
We want high-fat. High-fat.
Beef tallow cookies.
And Aston says, "Hi-ho, silver." Let me get Aston in there. Aston, boom. Okay. And is that all? I think we're... Oh, Concept 27 just says, "Free stuff for everyone. Welcome to socialism." And then Anonymous, oh shit, more people. Concept 27 says, okay. Anonymous says, "Frank and Jamal, thank you."
Malcolm
and then
Jamal Warner.
Great Lakes Bald Eagle Cam says, "Love what you guys do. Sincerely appreciate the dialogue."
I feel like there's a lot of new names that I've not heard before in this round of Super Chats. I got to be honest.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's great.
Because, we need the help.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I would love to have a lot of you guys become sponsors of the show so that we can muscle through this growth phase. It's an awkward growth phase. It's been a really awkward year, but it's going to make us all the better in 2026.
Next year is going to be big, man.
It's going to be a big one. And I work hard for you guys, and I work even harder for the monthly sponsors. And if you spent any time as a sponsor, you know it's just above and beyond. And the access is incredible and intimate. There's a lot of nudity. It's fantastic stuff.
Wow.
So just show up for the nudity.
That's all you need to.
Fine. Okay. So in 7 minutes, we have to preface this because after we're done with Justin, and we're in the after hours, I mean, the Mark Levin.
Oh, let me add him.
Tucker Carlson.
This is so good.
Nick Fuentes. All this shit going on right now. I mean, dude. Okay, I'm going to put this out there just so that we have a teaser for people to make sure you stick around.
Good idea.
Make sure you stick around for the flip side tonight because
want to hear us swear.
You want to hear us really curse? So here's a little bit of information I got from a source of mine. I have a source.
You know, I feel like I'm the only one on earth without a source.
I just got my first one. Relax.
All right, fine. I'm gonna get a source.
Anyway, we knew somebody. I know somebody who was looking to go to a Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson event that is actually tonight.
Oh, we should have had them come over in the studio. Could have had a good conversation.
And the word on the street is that this person was going with a group that was going to be joined by that guy Eric Metaxas.
Yes.
I know he's like a commentator. He's written a book. I know he's an evangelical. I think or something like that. He showed up to a church of somebody I know.
Yep.
So I know that he rolls in those groups and stuff. And he was supposed to be going to that, not because my source knew them personally, but it's like by 2 degrees of separation, somebody's girlfriend, or I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yep.
Anyway, just tonight, I heard that he had to back out. And here's what it was told to me.
His dog was sick.
I finally got an answer to my question. Are people really getting money to post badly about Tucker Carlson? But and they said it's totally true. What I found out, I said, well, why did this Metaxas guy back out? And they said, go look at his X page. That all of a sudden he just hates Tucker Carlson, like a lot of people do. All of a sudden,
all of a sudden.
So I said, okay, so this is a recent change. Is it all because of Nick Fuentes and that pairing from a week or so ago? Yeah. They said, I'm not sure when it started, but it happened sometime after early September when the tickets went on sale for this event, and he told my friend's boyfriend about the money that he is getting. And I had the first thing I asked was, what are we talking? Are we talking like AIPAC money or something like that?
Or $7,000 a post to post something positive about Israel. Remember that one?
That's going around.
Yeah.
That's like a common comment now.
Yeah.
And they said, well, his friend is not into politics at all. He told his buddy that he gets paid to post now and didn't say anything about where the money came from, but that there's a financial incentive to attack Tucker Carlson right now.
Disgusting.
And dude, this gets into the Mark Levin thing because what the types of things that Mark Levin was saying, I had to actually go and dig, because what I started seeing was actually the responses from people like Nick Fuentes, because you're just surrounded by a tornado, a hurricane, a cyclone of clips of people responding to each other. And when you're not actually watching these people every day,
right,
then you have the duty to go and say, okay, what statement was first? What the hell am I looking at here?
Exactly.
Well, I've got I got the Mark Levin statements.
Good.
Dude, I used to listen to this guy every day.
I'm kind of glad I didn't, but and I know that we're going to get into this in the after, but it's interesting to me because a lot of people who I do like and respect, and this is why you got to be careful when you just start slinging around names like the Great One, and you gotta be careful when you bring people on and you prop them up, if you don't really understand, like you just said, if you can be compromised to be paid to change your opinion on another human being, I really question what kind of integrity that you ever had. And I was never a Mark Levin fan. I've never heard the guy say anything intelligent. I'm sure, apparently some kind of a constitutional scholar. Sure. But that's just, those are just facts. That's like, I know people who can memorize things and that's fine and regurgitate them. But wisdom, and I want to talk about this concept, Frank, the idea that you can be overeducated beyond your wisdom. And I think that's something I'm really trying to solidify, because I think that's what we're starting to see, especially on the right, and people like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro. They can back you into a corner with intellect, but they really lack the most important thing, which is wisdom to apply the knowledge. And that's what I'm seeing on that. And I can't wait to talk about this, because these two guys, they drive me crazy.
Well, I can say for the years that I listened to Mark Levin, they were around 2015 to 17.
Okay.
That's when the height of it.
He was a never Trumper for a while too, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, up until he was pulling for Ted Cruz until.
I wonder why.
Okay, well, listen, I was actually pulling for Ted Cruz at first too, until things everything started really shifting around during that. Then I said, okay, I see where we're going, and I understand what the hell's that. I can see, you know, who's he's throwing barbs at, how he was going. You know, I understood that because Ted Cruz was the only one paying reference to the Constitution.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, okay,
the Constitution of Israel.
Let's hear more. Let's hear more about this.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, and I also liked something else there too, because back in the day, if you're listening to Mark Levin and Michael Savage at the same time, which I was, they hated each other. And of course, I was a lot more partial to Michael Savage. And so I love the way that they like. There's probably some great compilations on YouTube of them referencing each other. Like, you know, whatchamacall, Mark Levin. I don't know how many. I think he used to call Savage Little Wiener because Savage's last name is Wiener. You know. Michael Savage sounds a lot better than Michael Wiener Show.
Yeah.
You know, so
good choice.
So I got to go find those compilations now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be a blowtorch event of an after hours. So don't go too far.
Don't let me get started on Michael Savage either, especially when it comes to nutrition.
I know. But you know what? I've had so many good years listening to his show. It was a much different level of enjoyment than I ever got from Mark Levin.
Yeah.
But still, I can't wait to spend the next half hour with this man right here. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the chocolate magician from the West Coast. His name is Justin Polgar. YesCacao.com. He is such a good friend of ours.
He's about to sip a drink.
There he is. He's sipping out of an old school Blue Monster prep mug. Holy shit. Wow, it is vintage at this point. Justin, how are you, man? This is the first time we're really all hanging out together since September. The last time I saw you in the flesh, Aurora and I were driving you down to Westchester County Airport to say goodbye over there. And it was, man, I can't believe that was over 2 months ago now. Tears.
Yeah.
But so grateful to have experienced the Jamboree and all of the little events. A lot of it was the little events around it, like gathering at Port Rush at the coffee shop.
That was fun.
And just walking around the neighborhoods. And there's just something about knowing what surrounds Frank's world that just it enriched the show for me.
You had the
which is already.
You had the most popular coffee choice at that coffee shop, Just. I think everybody had that. What was that? Everybody had that coffee you recommended.
The Gibraltar.
Yeah.
The Cortado.
Oh, the Cortado.
I've had
the Cortado.
Yeah.
I've had it ever since the Jamboree. I haven't ordered. Oh man, I've had the Cortado like probably 99% of the time.
It was good. It was good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
To me it's the perfect balance. And if you order a Cortado, which is basically half espresso, half milk, or I like to do maybe a breve or something to get the half and half.
I do heavy. I told them to put heavy cream in it.
Yeah, go heavy if they've got it. Because I usually say, do you have organic milk? And I'm like, listen, I would pay an extra $1. I don't think I'm the only one to just put some clean, give me some A2. Ooh. Amazing. Actually, the coffee shop that I go to quite regularly, I sport their hoodie all the time.
They're lying to you?
They're lying to you. Coffee conspiracy.
That's great.
They serve, we make a brain power like sauce. So one of the bars that we have, we make it into a liquid sauce and they throw that in the bottom of the shot. They drop an espresso shot over that and then some milk, some like nice froth milk, but they do raw milk, which is like,
wow.
Oh, because that's legal in California.
Yeah, we're of all of the places that you could get away. It doesn't make any sense.
Wait. You know, Justin, let me ask you this before we get into the tour of the coffee of the chocolate factory and everything. When you say the brain power like syrup drizzle, you're talking about the tan one that almost looks like it's a peanut butter. There you go.
That one, yeah.
So that one, you know, when you made a liquid version of that.
I did on special request, and I agreed to just, give them exclusive for 6 months, but it's been like 2 years that I've been making it for them.
Now I want some.
And it's so, it's basically MCT oil and brain power.
Oh,
So it's like
man.
coconut MCTs.
Dude,
It's pretty keto-tastic.
I want that now.
I know everyone's I'm drooling a little bit too.
Jay and Justin, why don't you guys tag team this one question for a second? Because of course Justin was a wonderful sponsor of the event. He came out. He was just so all over. I mean, he was just talking to everybody. I mean, everybody has a Justin Polgar story after that jamboree. I loved it so much. Got along famously with people like Jane Barlow and everybody. And just to say again why this is more than this is not Hershey's, that this is a health food and where it is actually appropriate for people to incorporate this into their snacking.
Yeah, you can start, Justin.
I just got a lot of practice actually, because for Halloween, my family dressed up as our chocolate bars.
They did.
And we reverse trick-or-treated.
You gave people candy?
We gave people chocolate.
That's
Everyone
incredible.
had their own little stash bag, like basically your Halloween bag. I would be lying to say that Orion and Araya didn't gather lots of other junk food and candy. But Orion was also really good at just giving that back too. He was like, "Nah, my dad's chocolate's the best," which is awesome.
Do you mind if I put it on the screen? If I show people
No,
the
go
picture?
for it.
Okay. Go keep talking.
I'm pretty proud of it. So we got lots of practice, and essentially what I tell people is I grew up as the kid who wanted to get people to eat healthy food. And it's hard to do that because a lot of it doesn't taste good.
Mm-hmm.
So in my later 20s, I came across this idea in a nutshell if you put it in chocolate, you can get people to eat anything.
That's true.
Oh, look at those. Look at those.
Unbelievable. That's
There you go.
unbelievable.
We were like sandwich boards. We got accused of advertising by some woman like hitting a vape pen, and like her kid was just like sucking on like a red vine, and I was like, well, you guys are also advertising,
That's
aren't we
true.
all?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's my company. I'll do what I want.
But it's great that you were giving the
I
candy
put a
out.
QR code on the back of the
so
sandwich
smart,
board
dude.
too, which was
So
good.
smart.
So basically, I wanted to get people to eat things that are good for them. And the best way I could think to do that was to just put those things in chocolate. And it just so happens that chocolate is a vasodilator. So it expands your blood vessels, increasing the amount of surface area and bioavailability. Your body can actually bring it into your system more effectively. And that's how chocolate was done for like 4,000 or 5,000 years before we even turned it into a candy.
Yeah.
Not to say that they didn't include honey. For sure, they put honey in it. It was mostly a drink back in the day. We didn't figure out how to temper it into like chocolate bars here until a couple hundred years ago. Yay, science. And Swiss people and Europeans in general.
You know, Justin, I told you a little bit about this, and I forgot the actual article. It's physical. I was holding it in my hand physically. I get the paper delivered to me, and in the mind and body section of just this past month, there was a whole article there. I guess because we're coming up on hot chocolate season, of how a high quality hot chocolate. They're talking about the cacao, the cocoa powder, depending on where you're going. That a really high quality hot chocolate can reduce inflammation in the body by, drastically. And I said,
70%, I think the article said.
70%. That sounds about right. I said, I got to bring this up with both Jay and you to talk about that's huge. Talk about that for a little bit. Then I want to ask you about hot chocolate in general.
Actually, Jay, do you want to talk about this first? Because I can tell I have the compressor of the fridge just went on, and it's going to be a little loud.
Well, so I'm wondering about when I think of like real chocolate, not milk chocolate, but real cacao, I think about an incredibly high magnesium content, right? Something like that, which could be very effective in lowering blood pressure. I think about polyphenols and the different ways that polyphenols can feed different beneficial gut bacteria. So those are the two places that my mind goes. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, but getting bioavailable magnesium in a food it can be difficult because, I mean, even in chocolate, I'm wondering if maybe probably actually more about this because you're actually processing the chocolate. But for example, like magnesium in spinach is very unavailable to the body. It's bound by things like phytic acid. So when you're actually making chocolate, are there any steps that you go through to increase bioavailability, or are you taking that into account when you're actually creating the chocolate? Because, just being a nutritionist, I don't know anything about the processing side, but if you're talking about, improving blood pressure, those are the first two things I think of. I think of potentially modulating the gut microbiome, but then, real dark chocolate is a pretty potent source of magnesium.
I think it might be the highest source of magnesium in a food.
I think you might be right.
Certainly in a delicious food.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And just to hit on two of those things, my mind goes straight to the polyphenols because polyphenols are an antioxidant. Chocolate itself is an antioxidant.
Mm-hmm.
It scores very high on the ORAC scale.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we have antioxidants flowing abundantly in our bodies, we're going to have an anti-inflammation response.
Right.
And then also in the bar that I had showed earlier, the Brain Power bar, we use a 95% curcumin extract, which is basically a turmeric extract in this bar. And turmeric is also known to be an anti-inflammatory.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just hitting it from every angle I can. And I find that the best way to increase the potency of certain medicinal effects is while making the chocolate to ingest as much chocolate as possible. Science.
Now,
it's wizard science, I promise you.
So here's the important question. Do you have need for an in-house nutritionist while you're making the chocolate in order to make, to like double check your work to make sure that everything is adequately tested?
Jay, I was actually going to suggest that you come out here and we'll just put a little station for you.
Okay.
And everything that passes through. Actually, I did just speak with one of the founders of Carnivore Snacks.
Oh, cool.
Sylvia.
Yeah.
And she was suggesting some testing sites. Oh, look at that. It's the chocolate factory.
Yeah.
Oh, because your booth,
she was just suggesting a testing site.
Your booth was right next to hers. You guys met at KetoCon in 2023, correct?
I had met her at KetoCon. We had been messaging, but her partner, Mark, he used to have a podcast, and I was on his podcast a couple times, and we just became friends from that. I have a trend of becoming friends with people who I like doing podcasts with.
You don't say.
And I remember when he visited Santa Cruz, he was like, hey, I've got this awesome thing I'm about to launch, and I'm going to make it say yes to meat. And I was like, I love it. I love it.
Good.
And
Yeah.
I eat a lot of those snacks. I could pretty much live on chocolate and carnivore snacks.
Not a bad life.
No, it doesn't sound like a bad life. Speaking of, let's talk a little bit more about your life. We have an exclusive here. We are going into Justin's chocolate factory at yescacao.com. And
come with me.
Here you go.
And you'll see
the land of pure imagination. Okay, so I'm going to I'm just gonna let you talk over it. So here we are walking, I guess.
Okay, pause it right there. Actually, if you go that right in the floor there.
Oh,
I had this thought when we were getting this chocolate factory built out earlier this year, because we moved into this building in November, actually about a year ago, and then it took about 3 months or so to like epoxy the floors, rip out all the ugly carpet and office stuff, take out some walls, do everything so that we could make it a fun place to work. Because if you're going to be doing manual manufacturing, the thing that I think zaps your energy is the lighting has to be right, which I want to do a little bit better on that, but also like the little notes and energy. So like that particular thing that you're looking at in the floor, we put into the epoxy, and that actually has copper foil and shungite crystals mixed in. And then we put this sigil basically so that you have an energy doormat. So instead of just a doormat the gray mat that my feet are on right now, that'll take all the dirt off. But the next step is to actually give you like an energy cleanse, so you're in a good mood when you go in the chocolate factory.
I love that, man. I love it. Nice little aura fluffing.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're going to use that next time. This is our aura fluffer.
100%. 100%.
Okay. Here we go.
So this is the main like packing room and where we put our ingredients kind of that are going to go into these grinders. Those are our 3 workhorses. Those are 200-pound melangers. So those are stone wheels, granite on granite. Those are all made in the US, which is great. Hard to find those. All the rest of our equipment is Italian made. And this is where we do our melting, tempering, depositing, and then it goes into this cold room. That machine right there, we call it Boss. That's the Boss. And essentially it brings the temperature up, so it opens the fat crystals of the chocolate. Chocolate itself is about 50% fat.
Yeah.
If you just have the 100% cacao or eat a cacao bean, about 50% of it is fat, which is amazing because that's going to assist in getting the energy that you get from cacao to last longer. Actually, there was another study that came out recently from a university in Japan, right around the time that the Epoch Times study came out, or the article came out, and it spoke about how 30% memory increase from eating chocolate. For about an hour after you eat chocolate, your memory recall spikes about 30%. This is in mice. I can attest in human beings at least 30%. And I just thought it's always amazing to watch these studies come out about
it's
the
also
benefits.
good to remind people that when you're quoting these studies, you're not talking about any kind of a cognitive increase when you chomp down on a Hershey's bar.
Right.
We're talking about a completely different kind of. We're talking about actual naturally occurring cacao and a different. What are you?
Because the Hershey's.
What are you saying no to? What is it that? Where does Hershey's go wrong? Okay, for example, and in just ingredients, like where is it? Is it just all the seed? Is it the oils and everything else again? The palm oils and.
I mean, it probably starts at the soil.
Yeah.
I mean, really, doesn't it all? Because what we're doing with Yes Cacao is we exclusively use wild harvested cacao, meaning that this is grown in jungles and nature is the farmer. This is not a monocropped, heavily sprayed. Chocolate is the second highest sprayed agricultural crop in the world, and it's even organic cacao. I tried all kinds of chocolate. I have samples of stuff all over the place. And even organic cacao has a sanctioned number of pesticides that are organic pesticides that you can spray on your crop, because otherwise it would be very challenging to grow in a monocropped way. Really, chocolate should be, anything is best and most bioavailable and nutrient dense when it's grown in its most natural form. Now, Hershey's, I'm guessing, uses the most commodity cacao available, mass farmed, 100% using, not 100% of it is slave labor, but 100% they are using slave labor, and that includes children and adults. And it's not the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to bring my child to work so that they can learn a trade. It's not, that it's like you live in this area, you have to, in order to pay your debt to whoever you do. It's just not a good situation.
Right.
Then they're also not even putting that much chocolate into the chocolate bar. It's I think they actually got in trouble for writing chocolate on the bar. They have to write chocolate-y.
No way.
Because there's because they're using instead of using cacao butter, which is very expensive.
Yes.
That they're using all kinds of warped, weird fats.
Justin,
wait a second. I see when I'm looking at it, when you see chocolate-y, where would I be finding that? Because I all I see is Hershey's packaging with milk chocolate on the front of it. It doesn't say milk chocolate-y.
I think when they're describing it, they have to say chocolatey.
Okay. All right.
Or something like this.
But I actually
maybe they've gotten around it somehow too, but I remember there was a big fiasco around it.
Cacao butter is incredible, and it's deceiving because I actually have a bag of it in my refrigerator, and sometimes I'll drop a little. They kind of come like quarter sized, and they're white, because that's when they're natural, and it's deceiving because it looks like it would be butter, and it's fatty when in your fingers, but then it's like it smells and tastes like real chocolate, and it's incredible.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I never actually even
The
handled
aroma.
it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'll tell you, might be a little TMI, but one year, this was probably about 12 years ago, we had these molds made for these pucks that said yes, and we just poured straight cacao butter and tempered these pucks of cacao butter. And Zoe and I would, after a shower, while your body was still warm, just like rub the puck all over your body, and we would just smell like we wanted to eat each other. It's probably how families are made.
Start families. Yes, cacao.
You rub yourself with. You can have the chocolate through almost any orifice. Look at all these. You have millions of all these pores that are so thirsty for
chocolate.
For good fats.
You are riding the line here with people who are going to wonder how much of the chocolate bars are rubbed all over Justin before they are shipped out. I know. Okay, so
it's a mystery.
Yeah, that's the mystery box. Okay, let's get back to this, and I'm just going to shut up and let you go. Okay, go.
Okay, so I will say on top of that, so Hershey's goes wrong with a lot of different ways, and really every corner that could be cut, we say 90-degree angle. Do it right. Go orthogonal. These are some of the bars that we've made for other clients. This is the nibs going into the stone grinder.
Look at that.
And that's about a 50 to 60 hour process. There it goes from that, and you have to slowly add them, and it just grinds and grinds. And chocolate itself it goes to that. That's about 45 hours in, and it gets so fine that it's like about 20 microns, 15 to 20 microns is what we're targeting, and that is such a small thing. That's actually a strawberry milk chocolate. I'm sorry, that's a strawberry white chocolate that we made. The color came out amazing.
Wow.
This is the tempering machine, the Boss.
I'm scooping.
It's very tempting to just get right up.
I was going to say, maybe I shouldn't be working for you.
Hey, have you ever dropped anything into the chocolate and say shit, and you have to start all over? What?
Speaking of things that when you fuck up, so this screw, if you can see that the thread is eaten. This is what holds the depositing head on so that we can do cool, you can make little chips and bars, and it goes right into the mold. This fell in, and you have about a second to hit the emergency stop button. Not enough time. So this actually got jammed in. I mean, luckily we keep like this is, this gets alcohol cleaned in between batches and stuff, but man, that is the whole thing, because we had to empty the entire container to get to it. And then I had to open the side and then crank with all of my might. It was like I ended up staying here till 9 o'clock at night just to crank this thing out of this grill at the bottom. It was a thing. Things happen in chocolate world that are you're not expecting.
So then this next thing, because I want to keep us. We only have about a minute left of this video, and I want to get through it. And looks like the next ones up are what looks to be the ketokens that we all were able to eat at the. People are still asking me about those ketokens. These little chocolate coins.
So these are the chips, and those are actually great. We sell those as celebrational cacao, and then each of the flavors has their own chocolate chips. Like we call them chips, even though they're like discs. And those are great to throw into like a frother or make a hot chocolate with. That's kind of the purpose of them, because you can make your own ceremony. You can make your own morning beverage. They look like that when they get tempered. And they're super thin, so they just melt in your mouth right away, which is so nice. Or they melt in milk, or you could do it with water too, but why?
Yeah.
That is a ketoken. Yes, we made those specifically for the jamboree. You can tell that the chocolate is tempered well when you have that really nice sheen. You'll be able to see it on this as well.
Oh yeah, looks like gold bars.
Snaps. It's perfect. Let's see if we can even get a little on this bar. Let's see if we get a snap like that. Snap is really what you're looking for.
Oh man.
And yeah, it's That's what it looks like when I come to the store and I go, hi. That's actually the water store around here who carries our chocolate. They have a Kangen water store, and they sell all kinds of really cool products like Prima bars and local regenerative beef jerky and stuff.
Oh, so you're familiar with the Prima bars? Those are really good.
Mm.
Those are very good.
I think so.
It is my wish.
I agree.
My wish that I get to see this process in person one day.
Absolutely.
I really do. It just
the
seems,
door is open.
Yeah, of course it is.
No, literally, it's open right now.
I'm going. I know. Well, I've gotten so many great stories from Justin over the years about just the trials and tribulations, and of course the triumphs, and that's always the best part about all this stuff here.
Justin, I gotta say, just because in knowing you, so I think we met prior to KetoCon. Well, I mean, we knew each other, but like we physically met at KetoCon, and then that was the year we were talking about the organ meats. And I think that was the very first retreat that we did where we had the organ meats in the chocolate. That was incredible. You created His and Hers. I'm sure you remember this. His and Hers bars.
Oh yeah.
Which were just out of this world. Frank still thinks they were some of the best chocolate that he ever had.
Yeah, the Hers bars in particular.
They were amazing. And then the next year, and
you know what you like to eat. Very good.
And then the next year, you again came up huge. I don't even remember the mixture that came to the second retreat. It was in the gold packaging, and it was the day of the retreat. And you're like, or the day before, and you're like, what's your address on Martha's Vineyard? And Justin overnighted, and I'm like, Justin, how much is that gonna? You're like, just give me the address. And he like overnighted all this chocolate, and it was a huge success there. And then of course for the Jamboree, another custom blend with keto Brainz and Dulsa, and he's just like. Not only is the food that the chocolate that he makes delicious, but just the kind of business you want to support, just a really authentic human being. And so glad that I met you in person. So glad that we've become friends, and so glad that you run such a successful company that makes delicious food. Just had to say that.
We're leaning into the successful part as much as we can, and I also feel when Frank talks about how it's challenging to be a small business owner. And I know I hear also, Jay, we're building things that we have to vision the place where we're going before we're there. And sometimes it feels like being a fraud. It's like, I have this thing like it's a challenging piece because, the customers don't always know the challenges and the being in the trenches. But often I think that's what makes it worth it is overcoming those walls in the moment that in hindsight are just speed bumps. It's like, I thought I wasn't going to make it through. We just hit our 15-year anniversary of Yes Cacao. And I will say, just in being at the Jamboree as well and meeting so many Franklys that I recognize their names from our order lists and to put faces to names was so cool. I know, Frank, you have an idea of what people look like based on their voice. I have an idea of what people look like based on their ordering habits and what they they use. And we do have a Frankly code, which is kind of, there's always, and I see an order come in and it says Frankly. I'm like, yes.
Well,
and the Frankly code gets you 15% off. And I know for the week, for the next couple months, I know for like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, like we're always looking for opportunities to make it easier to buy chocolate and especially buy it in bulk. Because even though a lot of the studies that come out and a lot of the influencers that talk about chocolate say, just eat a little bit of chocolate every day and that'll be good for you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, eat a lot of chocolate. I still eat a half a pound of chocolate a day. I've had
half a pound.
I've had 5 or 6 of these. I think this is my 6th one. I had one of these. I had some of this is the very last of the organ meat chocolate. I drank a little chocolate earlier. We actually I've been testing out this high.
What about hot chocolate? Wait. What about hot chocolate? Do you anything that's meltable into milk that we can use?
those chips. Because the thing is, if you use the powder to make a hot chocolate, even though it's good, but you're missing the fats, because the way that cacao powder is made is it's the beans turned, crushed into nibs, and then it goes through a press and a screen. And so when it gets pressed together and they're praying on it, that's what's happening. They're praying, please press through the chocolate. And the cacao butter comes out one side of the screen, and what's left is the cacao powder. So anytime you see cacao powder somewhere else in the world, the cacao butter is there, and that's used in cosmetic products and in food products, all kinds of things.
Okay.
And it's been a little tricky because in the last year and a half, what used to, it used to cost maybe like $7,000 to get a pallet of cacao butter, and that would last me a pretty good amount of time. But at the peak of the someone messed with the financial markets in cacao. Someone sold some futures, probably was sitting on a lot. There was some manipulations in the commodity markets, and that same $7,000 pallet jumped to $35,000.
Oh, 5 times.
And that is, it feels like someone is putting your head in a vice
that's devastating.
cranking it.
That's devastating.
Oh, and a lot of businesses went out, a lot. And I think the only reason I'm still in, aside from just being stubborn and very dedicated to my craft, is my relationships with the source and with our wild cacao hunter. He's kind of like Timothy Alberino, as far as like wild jungle man hunter of things. He actually lives in Argentina now, but all of his operations are in Ecuador. And without that relationship that I have with him, and him just understanding the process of having a small business and wanting to keep something like Yes Cacao available for people, like I don't know how I would have made it through, because I don't want to compromise. I don't want to use subpar chocolate. Most of the chocolate, even that's organic, is something called CCN 51, which is a hybridized cacao.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, I don't know, probably 95% of the cacao that's grown in Central and, South America is this particular variety, because there's like Monsanto-ish companies that are big agro companies that go to small farms and they say, hey, we can basically guarantee that you're going to triple your yield, and your trees they're going to be fruiting in 3 or 4 years, not 7. And all you have to do is feed these liquid vitamins to your plants, which are fucking pesticides.
Oh man,
and
it's almost as if that there are powerful organizations that are trying to make sure that good quality products are. It's very hard for good quality products to even be made and supplied to people in any great demand outside of some kind of a boutique operation. And I know that for your output over there is legendary for the small operation that you have. But I have to imagine that, like you said before, when a load of product or raw materials triples, quadruples, septuples in price suddenly, you wonder, well, obviously this is not something I can do. But that's also, the world has been robbed of a high quality health product, food all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's just, the harder it is for people like you to go out there and refine some of these things from nature in a clean and really lasting way, the more people are going to buy a bar of Cadbury, and
right.
That's just,
or even like, you got like this chocolate, which is like so clean, and it's available at Whole Foods, and it's so good, and it's such an awesome option. And you know what? This is kind of garbage.
Really?
It's like, it's better than Hershey's.
Right.
But as far as like thinking it's a clean ingredient, like for sure there's CCN 51 in here. Even though it's organic cacao, it's just like the bare minimum needed in order to retain that certification. And to me, the organic certification is kind of, if you look at some of the things that are that have the organic seal, it's like, well, that's not really like a clean, good for you product.
True.
It's become a corporation. It's like LGBTQ. It's like all of the BLM. It's like all of these different organizations that basically get so big that they sell out. And it's not that selling out is a bad thing if you do it and it's like part of your path, but it's probably going to compromise, it's probably going to compromise. I'm not into it.
It's very true.
Personally, I'm going to make chocolate until I probably still make chocolate after I go in the grave. I'll do it.
I will make.
For that.
I'm going to make chocolate in hell. I'm going to be in hell making chocolate the entire time. No,
it's good temperature actually.
It's good.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, Justin, thank you so much for this. I want to do more. I want to do more adventures. Every once in a while, you got to come on with me and Jay, and we'll do a specific chocolate adventure and talk about some kind of a jungle journey or some whatever the hell it is. But yescacao.com. The link is in not only the description, but proudly placed on the affiliates page on quitefrankly.tv for years now. Promo code Frankly for 15% off. I think that people should think about stuff like this for Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I think that I think it's easier. Things I know everybody's tightening their belt right now. These are very thoughtful things to do. And you know the person, you experience the person who makes it. There's good energy that goes into this. There's a high quality, there's good standards. But you're a good man and a brother, and thank you so much for coming on tonight, dude.
Such a pleasure every single time. Every night really is a pleasure with Frank. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I will say those tokens, those the coins that we sell, those are really great because you can get a pack of 12 of them is how we sell them. And if you get you get 20% off on your first order, you always get 15% off with code Frankly. And then if you catch it for one of those holiday sales that we do, you can get a box of 12 tokens and then you can stoke out, 11 people. Or make those your stocking stuffers or, little gifts, and they go a long way and they look like condoms, and we make it say, it says practice safe chocolate.
That's one of my favorite things I saw on there. Chocolate. I thought that was so damn clever.
It's great. No, I really do.
We're very cheeky. We're cheeky. We have tubes of wild balls. We like to just mess around a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, I need more wild balls, actually.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I know.
We're out of wild balls for another couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. I hope it gets here. That's a whole nother conversation because I've had supply chain challenges where I'll get it from Ecuador. It will land here and customs will just be reviewing it for anywhere from 5 days, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, and it's here. And I'm like, I need to fly to... I think it's in Tennessee or Miami, wherever they're sitting. If the box is sitting there, I need my chocolate so I can keep making chocolate.
Yeah, and, they're reviewing it.
It's been a thing. They're reviewing it.
That's it. No, it was great.
Yeah, it was delicious. I mean,
well, so it sounds like you can stack a whole bunch of different types of discounts on yescacao.com along with the Frankly, and go and do it. And Justin, we'll have you back soon. Thank you for bringing all types of cheer.
Love you both. Keep the vibes high. Thank you to the Franklys. Big love from Santa Cruz.
Thank you,
Bye,
man.
Justin.
All the best to the family. Love them all. There you go.
Yes.
All righty. Well, that's nice. We got a chocolate.
I am talking to Justin about that liquid brain power right now, thinking about what I could do with that. And I don't know how to get it because it's not on their website, but I'm going to contact the owner. I know the owner.
If you're thinking about what's the most chocolatey one about them all, I think for me it was the Bliss Out.
That's a great one. I really like the Endurance, which has Shilajit, reishi, and maca. But they're all
the brain power. I will just putting it out there. If you know that you just want some good stuff, the brain power is great. But when you crack it open for the first time, I was deceived as well. It looks like I'm about to get a peanut buttery excursion.
It's the turmeric.
It's not peanut butter.
Nope.
It's an explosion of like herbal flavors and all that stuff. But if you're expecting chocolate peanut butter, you're going to have to bring yourself back.
Totally different.
But it's great. Okay. So listen, Jay, we're going to read the rest of these super chats. We're going to get into the other side because we have some fire to light.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Real quick, Gina Harris. Gina says, I love seeing you all together. 3 of my favorite people. My jamboree story with Justin is that he gave me the best relationship advice. Sending love and hugs to you all. Gina from South Carolina.
Look at that. It's Dear Abby, too.
I'm telling you. And Gina put your name into the running while Justin and Jay were speaking with each other. Tyler Rubel says, why can't you have Ryan Dawson on the show? Because he's an expert on 9/11 Epstein. Why do you... I don't understand this. I have tried to get Ryan Dawson on the show a couple times over the years, and every time it fell through for one reason or another. And my urgency to do it I just don't have an urgency to do it. There's somebody always pops up and says this, like, why are you it almost makes it sound like I'm avoiding people.
Yeah, you're not afraid to have a conversation with anybody.
No, please. But thank you for the super chat. Kevin Polina says, wisdom versus knowledge. Holy Spirit, godly wisdom is the only goal and the divine remedy to so many ills. Bless you both for embodying this fact. Bless you, embodying.
Wow.
Thank you, Kevin. Andrea, Kevin sent me some really interesting things to take a look at, unidentified aerial phenomenon, we can say.
I heard a piece of that last night.
Yeah, I have to take a look at it. I haven't been able to actually open it on my laptop, on my iPad, but I'll figure it out. Andrea Dalton says these episodes are worth their weight in silver. Yes, indeed. I got you in there, Andrea. Benny Farina says, here for the ounce. What's up, Jay? There's Benny.
Benny?
There you go. Foxfield Farmer says, great show. This is my first super chat ever. Thank you, man.
Wow.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you. And then Concept 27, free stuff for everyone. Welcome to socialism. And Anonymous, we did that before too. Thanks, Frank and Jamal. All right. So all of them have been added in. Valsky says, chocolate. Let me get Valsky in there. That's all on Rumble. And Haywood says, not hoping for anything, but I can't wait to see videos of libtard corporate women getting accosted for not wearing a hijab.
That won't be week 1, maybe week 3.
It won't be week 1. Grandma Grateful says, can you ask Jax what he thinks of GLPs? Well, yeah, we're going to bring that to the after hours real quick. Grandma Grateful, thank you so much. Nat Wall, we already put you in there. And I got Dragonfly 27 on Pilled says, I'm loving working at Sprouts. They are killing it on this game. We got all that right now. Maybe not your sponsors, but pitch it to them. Beam it. What? We are selling a lot of new brands. Wait. I love what's Sprouts?
Sprouts is it's like a health food grocery store that I went to when I was in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
It's further down south. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. I'm loving working at Sprouts. They're killing it on this particular. So I guess that's on the chocolate and the cacao.
Yeah, they have. When I was there once, they had a great selection of a lot of things.
Okay. Well, I got everybody in. Let's see who wins this silver from Quite Frankly .gold. Here we go. And the name is Shan. Yes, SHAN. Shan. They are on quitefranklysuperchat.com.
All right.
Shan, you got to reach out to me. But remember, everybody, if you use promo code Frankly on quitefrankly.gold, no matter what you get, in any small amount, you're getting junk silver just thrown in there. I don't know what quantity that Tony's going to throw in, but use that for any of your stocking stuffing as well. Quitefrankly.gold, promo code Frankly. All right. Well, good for you, Shan, and I'm glad we were able to get this out there. Now, without further ado, we're going to the after hours. We're going to talk about, we're going to listen to some things, going to get a little bit fiery here. In the chat room, look for the link. The flip side link will be there waiting for you. Show on up.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, everybody. And as you know, just as a reminder, go to healthreclamationproject.com and use promo code Turkey45. That's all of those links are in the description of the episode. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, all of our wonderful friends out there. I look forward to tomorrow night, and I look forward to Friday night's show, and I look forward to the Saturday night special. It's a great week on Quite Frankly, and we'll see you on the flip side.